Hello Stampers, Tracy Filter here with Tracy's Ink Spot. Wanted to show you a quick video on a technique I've been sharing on my Facebook page today called Faux Suede. You're going to start with any piece of cardstock, any size you want. And what you need to do first is do a really good job of breaking up all the fibers. So you can do a combination of things. You can rub your bone folder along the edges just to get that started. You can start like curving it if you need to help that way. I tend to just crinkle, really wad it up in a ball, undo it, go another direction, and just keep manipulating it until you've got all the stiffness worked out. You can also, if you want to, spritz it with a little bit of water. So I've got our Stampin' Spritzer here that I've just sprayed, or filled, I should say, with water. Now you always want to make sure that you're pointing it away from yourself. And if you get the paper damp just a little bit, sometimes that helps. Okay, so we're going to keep manipulating it and working it. So this is really just something you can sit and do while you're watching TV or anything where you just need a little distraction. Okay, so once you've got that really nice and all the fibers are broken up, and like I said, you can just feel all the stiffness. As you can see, there's no hard spot anywhere in that cardstock. And what's going to start to happen is you're going to start to see a separation, and you might need to manipulate it a little bit. If you don't have the fingernails, which I don't always, you can use like a paper piercer, anything with a little bit of pointed edge. You just want to be careful not to rip through the paper. Okay, so like I said, as you can see, it's going to start to separate. And you want to go slowly with this as you're separating. If you go a little too fast, and sometimes you can see it's starting to get a little thin in that area, I'll just work another section. And this is going to be one of those techniques that won't necessarily turn out the same each time. Don't be worried if you get little, what's the word I'm going to look for? Flaws or a little, some of it's thinner. You might get a little hole. You can see here there's a little tear in that part. Don't worry about that. It's all part of the process of making it it's going to look unique every single time you do it. So it all depends on how the fibers break down. So I don't know if you can tell so much in the video, but I'll bring it up just a little bit. You can see how you're seeing all those fibers in there, and it's really soft. So you're getting, that's why it's faux suede. You're getting a really soft fabric effect, kind of, once you start pulling that paper apart. Okay, so you're going to go and manipulate all the way through. So like I said, don't worry if you have little tears, little imperfections. It's all part of how it works. And I tend to do this for a background of whatever my focal piece is going to be. All right, so here we go. It's starting to really come out. There we go. And like I said, sometimes you just start over in a different place. So you can see how the process is going to work. You're just going to keep pulling apart really gently. Like I said, don't worry if you end up with little tears or imperfections. But as you go through, all right, there we go. Now you have two separate pieces. And like I said, if you could just, I wish you could, touch a video because it does feel super duper soft. I just want to point out when I did before, here's like what I was saying with, don't worry if you end up with a little imperfection. When you glue it down to your background, you could kind of hide some of those little tears. And depending on what you do with your focal piece, you'll be able to cover up, like for example, this is a little bit, whoopsie, sorry, I shook the camera, a little bit bigger part. And you can see like if that had been here on my card, I've covered it up with my focal point. So here's the project that I shared, just a picture of the other day. I took a brand new stamp set that's going to be available in the January to June mini catalog. It's called Enjoy the Moment. And it's got, now you'll forgive me, I'm not botanist or anything like you want to call it. I do know that these are a variety of different seed pods. I just don't know which ones. So you've got really interesting art here. Some line art, but some filled in detail already, and some really pretty phrases. And I love the combination of fonts within this set. So again, this will be available in the January to June mini. So I took one of those phrases, I stamped it in Seaside Spray. I stamped the pods in Sahara Sand, and I used my blends and a blender pen to kind of work through that, the shaded areas. And then you might be also looking and going, hey, there's some pink pearls. What in the world? Well, I took my package of pearls and I took my blend and I colored them. I would recommend if you're going to do this with your blends. Now I happen to have the Seaside spray one handy. Use the tip that is the more of the not brush end, I should say, so the stiffer end. And because of the brush end, if it catches any little nick or something like that in the pearl, you're going to start breaking up the fiber of your brush end. So you're going to want to use more of the marker point tip end. And I just went directly onto the, circle around the pearl right on my piece of paper before transferring it onto my finished project. All right, so again, here's the finished effect of the faux suede, and if you wanted to even bring out some of those worn crack and crinkle edges, you could take a sponge that's been dipped in your ink pad and just really brush over it lightly, and you'll end up bringing out those details even more. But you can see it's got a lot of texture, and like I said, if you could just feel how soft it is, it's really, really cool. All right, so I hope that you will consider giving this technique a try, and feel free to post and share on the Facebook page about anything you've done with this technique. Thanks for watching today, everybody. Bye-bye.